As part of Careers Week, I'll be speaking to alumni from a range of different courses and a range of careers to talk about their career paths. We'll also be addressing topics like resilience, workplace wellbeing, and adapting to new ways of working. Today I'm joined by Adrien Dansette, who's a Paramedic Science Alumnus and current paramedic with London Ambulance Service. Adrien, thank you for speaking to me today.
Pleasure, yeah.
You've had a really diverse and interesting career path, so I thought I'd just start by asking you, please could you tell me a bit about yourself and how you came to be a paramedic?
Right, in so many words. First of all, my bit about my background. My father, who's an engineer, is French. My mother is a teacher who's English, and we moved around the world every 6 to 9 months with this trade. So communication was something that I guess is something I had to learn to love, and it's always been something I've had to deal with and had to work well at. When I was young, I always saw myself to be an interpreter, seeing as that's all I seem to be doing, interpreting from French to English, French to Spanish, Spanish to English, or wherever I was going to. And I had this knack of picking up accents and languages, enough to at least make people smile. That's all I seem to be good at. I went in to do all the kind of courses to do. So I did lots of courses at high school in theatre and languages and written language to kind of make sure that I can project and enunciate and all those silly things to make communication well. And I went to Aston University to study translation studies and languages. It's that classic case of do a degree where you absolutely love the subject, and kind of leaving the degree going, what now? How can I work? How can I use what I learned now? Sadly, the translation sector was completely saturated, so I couldn't really get myself into that. But yeah, I kind of figured, I love meeting new people. I love connecting people with others. I love putting across a message and stuff like that. So I tried going into PR and the events industry. Of course, obviously that didn't work out well. But I'd like, you hope to think that I learned something there, but probably didn't. I moved in to do recruitment, hoping that I could, mold and get people into jobs, especially as I've been unemployed for quite some time myself, which was quite ironic, I thought. That didn't work out, as I'm sure a lot of people out there can know that recruitment is a very dog-eat-dog world, a very competitive market, and a very solo industry. And I'm a very big team player. I love my rugby, love my team sports. So again, wasn't a good fit for me. Decided to help out a friend and be a journalist in Berlin, which was great, but I don't think my liver could have taken any much more time than I had done there. And then I kind of literally fell into a job in the marine fuel sector, which is as boring as it sounds, and was there for, a good couple of years, staying at the desk, glued to a desk, and making phone calls every day. The same desk, the same laptop, the same coffee filter, the same boiler thing, day in, day out. And I just fell into a rut, and all of a sudden I was 26. No real idea of what I wanted to do. Just knowing that I didn't want to do this for a long time. As one gets when you're in a rut, you kind of get a little bit depressed. You're not quite sure what to do because you've got no direction. You've got no idea what to do. And the last time I felt good was, helping people with St. John's and paramedics and Red Cross and helping out at events and that kind of thing. But I was just too scared to do it. I thought, no, it's too big a gamble. I'm done. I'm just going to have to make this work. But a random conversation I had with my then girlfriend, who was a special needs teacher, we were on our way to dinner. I was ranting and raving about a client who had been messing me about, and I was swearing like a sailor. And I just turned around and said, "How's your day?" And she just went, a non-verbal child said hello for the very first time. And it was just a really big day for him. And I don't remember anything else. We celebrated, we shared that, and we worked hard to get there. And it was brilliant, just brilliant. And in that one moment, I lost all of my anger, completely out the window. And I just became so jealous, like so envious that that's the kind of job that she gets to do. And that was kind of like one of the many catalysts that kind of pushed me to take the plunge, to take the gamble, to say, well, I know I can do sales. I know I can work in that sector and make it work. But let's take a deep breath and take the plunge. And I went did a bit of research and saw St. George's had some really good reviews on their paramedic program. It was in a teaching hospital, so I felt that was really going to help narrow my vision and get me stuck in as best I could. And I kind of think I snuck in, considering I didn't do any of the atypical courses that you needed to. So I didn't do biology, didn't do chemistry, all I had was a background in communication and blagging it. So I've got a lot to thank St. George's for to have accepted me, being a very atypical, mature student at that time. And I like to say that I like to use the cliche, well, look at me now, I'm 3 year degree down. And I absolutely love the job I do. I'm so glad I took that plunge. I'm so glad that, I was terrified, genuinely terrified that this is going to be a huge mistake and I'm wasting all this money, literally leaving a high-paid job, going into paying London rent, working 4 jobs to pay for that, paying for a degree as well because I couldn't get a student loan. All of that was, living nightmare at times. But I guess I was just one of the lucky ones that managed to find something that I really love doing. I really love what I do. I really love that I get to use my communication background. I really love that I can help people when I need, and that I can make people laugh. It's my one goal every shift, to at least get one smile, one laugh out of every patient, just to maybe make things a bit, not light in the mood, but just to help them get out of the fact that they're safe, they're okay, they're being heard. And I'm rambling now, but effectively I took a stupid gamble that worked out, and I'm now a paramedic in a pandemic. What's not to love?
It's great to hear a bit more about the career path that you've taken, and how some of those skills that you developed through your other careers can be transferable to the role you have now. And we might have some students or some new graduates watching who've also had a career change like you. Do you have any advice for someone who's making a move into healthcare from another career?
I mean, it sounds obvious, but putting in the effort. Your healthcare is not like English, or it's not like English literature. It's not like a languages. It's not like translation. It's not one where you can argue and debate about, oh well, technically you could have done this or that, and debate your way around a grade or debate your way around a pass or fail. It's the thing that's stuck in my head is that every time I got a bad mark, or every time I failed a practical exam, that's something that I did wrong that could have potentially hurt someone or could have potentially harmed someone. So it's definitely a career you have to have a real healthy respect for and a real seriousness about it. It's not a DOS party degree to do. you're in it for life. Essentially, it's one of those trade degrees where you're never not going to get work. There's always going to be sick people. There's always going to be injured people, stupid people from time to time. But you're always going to be in work. So you need to take that level of seriousness and be prepared for that level of seriousness, because especially at St. George's, they'll show you straight off. I think the first practical session I did was doing CPR for 20 minutes on a dummy, and realizing how tiring it gets. But putting in the effort, accepting that you're not going to get things right. You're not going to be the world's best at this. You're not going to be the best clinician, and that's okay. It's okay not to be the number one at everything. So long as you're number one in your head, so long as you feel that you can leave that with knowing, I've done the best that I could. I've done the best that I can manage, and I'm okay with that. And if you're not, there's plenty of ways you can improve, and always looking to find ways to fit your skills in to the job. Everyone's done bar work, everyone's done retail work, so everyone knows how to smile while being annoyed, how to listen to things like that, and use those skills into the job, and find how to make your experiences work for you is another big thing. And especially in healthcare, there's a job in there for everyone. There's a job for every background, every creed, every which way. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to your background to working in healthcare. So long as you're seen to put the effort in, you'll be rewarded.
And what were some of the challenges that you faced going from a completely different career into paramedic science?
I joke, but going into uni, in your late 20s, that was a big challenge. Realizing, teenage drama, and realizing how bad you must have been on your first degree, and that. But the other challenges were, I obviously didn't have any science background at all, and a lot of it's obviously medicine is a very scientific oriented degree. So that was the biggest challenge, I think, for me. But I was able to do some additional courses on the side at night, provided by St. George's. I had amazing lecturers who were able to answer every single question I could possibly add. I had incessant questioning. I could not ask enough. I even won a little award at the end of the degree, saying the most questions ever asked during the degree posed by this man right here. But it was definitely learning the craft. Whereas you got all these 18-year-olds who are coming straight out of high school, who have done biology to at A level. They've done their chemistry, they've done their physics. They've got all this scientific mind and able to put things together. And they're gonna run circles around you. But at the same time, being a mature student, you've had more time to be able to talk to people, knowing how to create rapport, and you can make links. You can moan with patients about, oh God, boiler broke. You got that life experience to share. So it's a double-edged sword coming in as a mature side, but it's definitely, I would say, more positive. You can always learn a craft. I think learning to build bond, learning to build rapport takes a lot more time. And having that life experience obviously takes a lot more time. But so you come into it late, like I did. So long as you put in the work, everyone will want you to succeed. Everyone will want you to help you in finding work or finding ways to make you be better at that. But ultimately that was the hardest thing, just learning the craft.
And you've said quite a lot about the positives of your role. Is there anything in particular that you think's the most fulfilling thing about it?
Well, my role's a paramedic.
Yeah.
Well, for one, I get to push a big red button that says 999 mode activated, and it kind of makes me feel like a Power Ranger when I go on blue lights. That's one. That's definitely a big positive for me. Another one I would say is you're going to be my 9 to 5 job is going to someone's worst moment of their life, either because they don't know why something's happening or something really bad has happened and you're there to fix it. And you got your little side tracks, you got your idiots, you got the mistriage, or you got your births, which are always wonderful. But you're in a highly privileged position where you're a stranger going into a stranger's home, being welcomed into a stranger's home, and being told something's wrong with me, help me. And it's a hugely privileged position to be able to be a part of that, and to be able to say to them, to reassure them that says, don't worry, it can be fixed. Don't worry, I can fix this. Don't worry, I can take you to somewhere who will be able to fix this. Or don't worry, there's nothing wrong. Or congratulations, here's your baby. Being part of those little moments in someone's life, and it's literally a snapshot. It's not like being a teacher or anything like that. We can see someone progression grow. You're in that snapshot, and you've got to make those snapshots count, because they're, how to say it. It's it's brilliant. It's actually brilliant to be able to see the sense of relief they say on their faces, the fact that they have been, someone's heard them, someone has heard their cries for help, heard their cries of not understanding something, as they're wiping away their tears, or they're finally understood as to why they're not well, and you're the person that offered that. That is a great part of my job. Great sense of fulfillment, and going home and thinking, at least I've done one good thing right by making someone feel better about themselves, or feel better that they know how to feel better again.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a great answer. I'm sure that's something that a lot of our students and alumni can relate to as well. So finally, just moving on to talk about the last few months being particularly difficult in healthcare. I was just wondering, obviously it's been a very challenging time for a lot of our staff and alumni. What's helped you strike a good work-life balance during the last year?
Well, I was qualified to go out and as a paramedic back in, I'd say mid to late January 2020. Yeah, 2019, 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020. You had a couple of weeks where the pandemic hadn't hit yet, and then suddenly it hit hard, February and March particularly. When I'm still green, I'm still new, still wet behind the ears, as the saying goes. And it was hard, to put it bluntly. I could go on, but it'll be too bad. But what really has helped to kind of, especially now where everything is locked down, we can't go out on holiday as much. We can't go to the bars or pubs or restaurants. We can't do all the things that we love. That the way that have kind of helped me to the work-life balance is, obviously I'm incredibly lucky. I've got a girlfriend who's incredibly supportive. She's a teacher and safeguarding lead at a school. So it was a case of being able to, we both understand each other's role without having to go into detail. And it's, I come home and I've always got a smiling face waiting for me at home. I've always got a warm, a warm hearth kind of thing. That's those old timey old school things where you just really appreciate it. But for in other ways, it's a case of knowing when to shut off. And it's a really hard skill. It's a really hard thing to learn. It's knowing when to take off that imaginary rucksack with your uniform of all the crap you've had to deal with on your shift, or just in life when you go down shops, just taking that off and leaving at the front door, because that's work and you're now at home. And it's knowing the difference, or knowing how to take those things apart. It's not easy. It's not easy by any means, but that is really the key thing. At least for me, I can only speak for me, and the way that helps is, I used to love going to the cinema, so now I've got a stupid amount of streaming services to, hundreds of movies I could possibly go on to. I've built my DVD collection from 3 to probably about 50 at the moment. I'll go for a walk and I listen to music again. Daft thing, real daft things just to help you kind of remove yourself from society. But everyone has their own thing. Just find what you love. Going back into reading again, so you're not always on your phone, you're not always on social media, you're not always on anything like that. And especially at night when you want to go to bed, just pick up a book and just let the world melt away, kind of thing. It sounds obvious, and it's obvious for a reason because it works. But it's that whole separating that work to life balance is, like I said, very hard. And sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. But it's you just got to keep going, because the moment you start carrying around the weight of the world and the woes and the bad elements of your shift around with you everywhere, you're just going to weigh you down. It's just going to make you go completely somber and dejected, and there's no way out. And you're, at the end of the day, in healthcare, you're there to help people, and if you're not able to feel like you can because you're so weighed down, then you're just going to feel even worse because you're there to help and you can't feel you can. So it's it's a case of finding that balance within everyone. Everyone has their own ways, so I can only speak for me.
Well, thank you so much. That's been really interesting speaking to you and just hearing from you a bit more about your career and how you've got into it, and just getting a bit of insight from you into what it's like to work as a paramedic. Mm-hmm. So thanks again for joining me today.
Not a problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.